sequence. 10, 9,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the liftoff of the Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon spacecraft, filled with science and supplies for humanity's research outpost in low Earth orbit, the International Space Station.
SpaceX ascent commentary will be performed by several people. The propulsion engineer calls out propulsion events. The avionics engineer calls out avionics health and Dragon separation. The range coordinator calls out Air Force satellite control network acquisition and loss of signal. And the ground station specialist calls out the SpaceX antenna acquisition and loss of signal.
At 1 minute 5 seconds after liftoff, Falcon 9 reaches transonic speed. The vehicle will pass through an area of maximum dynamic pressure, known as max Q, at 1 minute 18 seconds after liftoff. This is the point where mechanical stress on the rocket reaches its peak because of the rocket's velocity and resistance created by Earth's atmosphere.
Around 2 minutes 24 seconds into the flight, the 9 Merlin engines will sequentially shut down, and you'll hear the call MECO, which is main engine cutoff. This first stage will perform a boost back burn about 15 seconds later, heading back to nearby Cape Canaveral Air Force Station Landing Zone 1. We'll show you the landing on NASA TV about 8 minutes after launch, accompanied by the sonic boom just before landing.
MVAC engine chill has started.
One minute 50 seconds into the flight of Falcon, carrying Dragon toward the International Space Station. Standing by for main engine cutoff.
We have MECO.
And we have MECO, main engine cutoff. All 9 Falcon 9 engines have shut down as planned.
And the first and second stages have separated as planned.
7 seconds after separation, the second stage's single Merlin vacuum engine ignites to begin a 6.5 minute burn that brings Dragon into low Earth orbit. The engines produce 210,000 pounds of thrust. At 3 minutes 4 seconds into flight, Dragon's protective nose cone, which covers Dragon's berthing mechanism, will be jettisoned.
Three minutes 8 seconds into flight.
Boost back burn shut down.
And the first stage boost back burn has shut down as expected. Second stage carrying Dragon continues on its way toward the International Space Station. Four minutes, 10 seconds after launch, the first stage apogee has been reached, its highest point of orbit. Everything continues normally with the second stage carrying Dragon. First stage entry burn is scheduled to begin 6 minutes, 23 seconds after launch, about 10:42 a.m.
acquisition of signal Bermuda.
New Hampshire, acquisition of signal.
The New Hampshire tracking site acquires the second stage in Dragon. Meanwhile, you're watching live coverage of the first stage of the Falcon heading back toward Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, landing zone 1. 5 minutes, 31 seconds after launch. About 30 seconds away from the first stage entry burn.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And stage 1 entry burn is underway. It's a burn of about 10 seconds.
Stage 1 entry burn shut down.
Falcon 9 first stage headed back toward Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, where it launched 6 minutes, 37 seconds ago.
Stage 2 performance nominal.
Everything going well with stage 2 carrying Dragon to the
Stage 1 AFTS has saved.
International Space Station.
Stage 1 is transonic.
Stage 1 is past the speed of sound. It's now subsonic.
Landing burn startup.
Landing burn underway. First stage landing legs will be deployed shortly. And a sonic boom passes across the Florida Space Coast as the Falcon 9 first stage makes a pinpoint landing back at landing zone 1 at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station.
LZ1, the F9 has landed. Landing operators proceed to procedure 11.100, section 3 on LZ1 net.
Meanwhile, in space, stage 2 of the Falcon 9 continues to carry the Dragon spacecraft. We're 8 minutes, 12 seconds after launch. Less than a minute away from second stage engine cutoff.